Morning everybody, and so I've been asked to do a second tutorial video, or thought it'd be easier to do a second video on the VA and how we took the VA on board, how we got them set up, and how we started using them. So there is lots of detail that goes behind the scenes on all of this, but this is kind of the overview of what we did and how we did it. So if you've got any other questions, say please put them in the comment box below, or reach out to me direct or us here at Provest and say just ask the questions. Absolutely fine. We're more than happy to help. So the first thing, or first couple of questions we've got asked is how do we find the VA? So I posted in the comments of my video yesterday about onlinejobs.ph. So you do have to have a subscription for a month to post a job and reply to those job and interview requests from onlinejobs.ph. Okay, so it's about 40 quid for a month's subscription, but you just cancel it once you've done it, and that's it. So for the sake of 40 quid, you get we got 17 pages of applications. So I think I spent one afternoon going through the majority of the shortlist, and I had to go through about 100 odd applications. So it's well worth the money, well worth the money. So the next thing we did as part of that process was I shortlisted the VAs that we're going to interview, and then I set them a task. So I simply created a shared file on, we were using Dropbox at the time, so I just created a shared file on Dropbox, and I gave them access to the shared file. It had 3 tutorial videos in it, so I asked them to watch the tutorial videos and complete the task, and they had a day to do that. So I gave them a bit of time, and then I just went back and reviewed that after. And from there on, we had a second interview, just to talk through the task, what they understood, what they didn't understand, and just so I started to get a feel for what the individual was like, what they worked like, how they interpreted the videos that we were creating, and then what they were going to be like working for us in our business. So that was the first step of the process to get somebody on board. The next thing we did was we gave them, once we hired our VA, we gave them access to, we now used Google Drive, exactly the same as Dropbox, so it doesn't matter which one you pick. We gave them access to certain files and folders on Google Drive, but not our whole business. There's no need for our virtual assistant to have access to our whole business just yet. Gave them access to that file and folder so that then they could continue to do the tasks we need them to do. I'll create a video tutorial on absolutely everything. So I think one of the questions I got asked was, how did I systemize this? I just literally video recorded everything I was doing and jotted it down on a piece of paper. So if you've listened to or read the E-Myth, that's really, really good for how to set up a process manual. And we're currently going through the process of setting up that manual in a bit more detail. So we bullet pointed everything we were doing, and then I screen recorded myself doing it. And I just made a video tutorial. No more than about 5 to 10 minutes for each video tutorial, and I just broke it down into sections and taught our virtual assistant what we wanted to do, but how I was doing it. So one of the other points was, I think, how did we teach them to do exactly what we wanted them to do? I just recorded myself doing it. So there was no room for discrepancy. Once we'd gone through, so once the VA had gone through and learnt and then completed some of the tasks, we reviewed it. We talked about the changes that needed to be made or any tweaks that we thought were necessary, and then they continued to do the tasks week in, week out. And now they're telling us when things are updating and changing rather than us telling them, because they understand what we're doing and how we're doing it. So, it's very, very much a time investment, but it's well worth it. So the access piece then, so we now use G Suite and Google Drive, and we created an email address for our virtual assistant. Now, not everybody does this, and you don't have to do it, but the reason we went down this route is it gave us control of that email address. So we're not giving out our personal email addresses or our work email addresses. They've got their own email address that we can use, but also that I can log into. So I can see what's going on activity-wise on that account if ever necessary. I've not yet needed to. There's no reason for me to check up on the VA. She's very, very good at what we've asked her to do. So there's no reason for me to do that, but I can if I need to. So it's just that level of security. And we've also got a contract in place, or a confidentiality agreement with our VA, and a kind of a contractor's contract, if you like, just to state that these are the working conditions, terms, and how we need things to operate, and the clauses that go with that. So we have got a working contract in place, but it is on a contractor basis because she's not employed by us. When it comes to then the actual work itself and monitoring that from week to week and looking at what is going on. It is simply a case of have a weekly review with the VA to understand what's gone on, what we need to change, and then how we move that forward. So we use project management software, and we have tasks in there that simply are allocated to days and times. And once they're done, we just review that week on the weekly catch up, look at all the tasks that were completed, how they were executed, and if anything needs to change for the week moving forwards. The great thing about running it this way with the email account and the different allocations of files and folders that they can view, and then the video tutorials on how to do the work, is they can refer back to it all the time, and I can see everything that's going on and monitor how productive we're being as a business, myself, my business partner, James, and the virtual assistants that we're using. So it just gives you that level of control so that you know what is happening in your business and it's not fully reliant on somebody else. So that's the first part of how we started to set up and systemize with a virtual assistant. A little bit long-winded there, but hopefully there's some value in that video. If you've got any other questions, please do ask. As I said before, reach out to me and ask the questions, but hopefully so you can get some value and get set up with a virtual assistant yourselves, and so really make use and benefit of the time that you'll get back from it. So I hope that's useful. Bye for now.